Good morning, guys. How are you? I thought I'd jump on this morning and do a little video, sort of continuing with the series, stories of Dan. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about my father and losing my father, and you know, what that was like. And yeah, I haven't really written down any notes or anything, so I'm sort of just going off the top. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'll go, but I'll give it a crack. So yeah, so my dad, he was a really good man. I was very blessed. He lost his father when he was 11, and I think he really wanted to be the dad that he didn't have, and we did a lot of camping and things like that, and going away, and a lot of great memories. And he would always encourage me, and I reckon, like, when I was a kid, like, he was the only person in the world who ever thought I could do anything or achieve anything. The only person who, but he probably wasn't, but that's sort of how it felt. I mean, even when I was really going through my years of really addiction and crime and prison and those types of things. He always believed in me, always would encourage me. And yeah, so um a little bit about him. He he was the type of guy that a lot of guys, he was a boilermaker. And yeah, he would sort of normally be like a supervisor and things like that. He never had his own business or anything like that, but he was always a supervisor and things like that. And yeah, a lot of guys always looked up to him. A lot of guys, sort of like a bit of a father figure to guys, I'd imagine. I can sort of see that. Yeah, like a lot of guys from different backgrounds, and especially sometimes guys that were criminal backgrounds or different things, looked up to dad and related to dad. And I think he was just a real humble man, and he never thought he was too good to sweep the floor or to do the shitty job or things like that. And I think people admire that. So yeah, I remember different guys that worked with dad. Some bikey guys, and there was one friend that he had in WA that was in the French Foreign Allegiance, and just a lot of guys that could see just a humble man that was um sort of probably there for them in that work sense, and someone who led by example, and um I guess was fair and approachable, and kind, and all those types of things. And people need that. And especially, I guess, really, sometimes a lot of people don't have their own father, or maybe they've lost their father or whatever, or different things. And if you find someone that can be generous and loving, and it's never like your own father. Like, I've had guys, older, men in my life that have been like role models and things like that. And as much as they may or may not, try to support you and love for you and care for you, it's not the same as having a real, your real father, and things like that. But anyway, excuse me, guys. And yeah, I at one stage, he was ready to basically, kicked me out of the wheel and different things like that. And I think, just before he died, by the grace of God, I'd started to turn my life around, and I had he'd got me a job in the mines. We were doing some shutdown work, and that was really cool. And then after I did that, um yeah, I got an apprenticeship, and yeah, I was doing really well, and he was really proud of me. And he actually bought us all tickets to the grand final one year, and that was the year he died, so he didn't get to go, which was obviously sad. But yeah, after that, I sort of went off the rails a little bit again, and sort of was struggling with, I guess, depression, and um drugs had sort of come back into my life again. Yeah, it was a really difficult time. But anyway, yeah, so he had passed away, and I after a little while, I sort of got my head right, maybe 6 months or whatever later, and I tried to get another apprenticeship, and I handed out resumes all across the Hunter Valley, but at that time it was a bit of a downturn, and it was really hard to get an adult apprenticeship, so that didn't happen. But anyway, yeah, my father died. He had a motorbike accident, and yeah, sort of one day he went away up to Queensland, and yeah, basically a car ran into him. He was um, on a dirt road up in Queensland somewhere, and yeah, someone driving basically turned into him. Like I think they were on a country road somewhere, and they were, I don't know, probably going 100, 120 Ks or something like that. And basically they went to overtake this car, and the car didn't use its indicator or anything, and it sort of turned into him. And I think one of the other bikes hit Dad and sort of must have crushed him up the stomach and things like that. But yeah, I think he died in the ambulance. But yeah, it was a really hard, time in our life. But anyway, the reason I thought of this video, a friend of mine, or friend of Dad's, reached out to me and said, you're doing really well, and really, really glad to see you doing your videos and stuff like that. And yeah, he was, saying I remind him of Dad when he sees me, and yeah, it just made me think to do this little video, because it was really nice to think that even he died in 2011. Even what's that, 14 years later, there's still people that think about him, and yeah, he had a lot of good friends. He had traveled the world when he was sort of 19, and a lot of them friends he still had. He met a lot of guys in London and things like that, and he still had those friends till when he passed away. And just really special, like really special to have those connections, and really special to think that a lot of people looked up to Dad and admired Dad. And I think yeah, that's probably where I get some of my personality. I want to be able to look after my kids like he did for me, and that real generosity and kind-heartedness, that was really what he was like. So yeah, really, really grateful for that. And yeah, anyway, guys, just a little bit about story, a little bit about my father and losing Dad. And yeah, so I'll keep going, guys, but I'll see you on the next one. All right, guys, have a great day. See you. Bye.